We just had another great free workout in the Thoughtfully Fit gym. And if you missed it, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm kidding. I mean, while we're sorry that you weren't there, I want to give you a recap because it was a really powerful topic and we had a lot of people attend. And today we covered, what do you do when you are judging? Sometimes it's judging other people and like going crazy because you're so frustrated with somebody. And sometimes it's judging yourself. So the workout today was engaging your core when you're judging.
Yes, and let's recognize, I love this quote by Carl Jung of thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. And obviously had more to say than just this statement, but the essence of this is our brain is essentially designed to judge people because then that helps us avoid needing to be curious or disproving the assumptions that we make about people, maybe even ourselves. Judging is a lot easier than having conversations about differences and disappointments and whatever it might be out there. And so this idea of judging, part of it is recognizing that saying we're never going to judge anybody is impossible. But we can recognize that when that judgment is getting in the way of how we actually treat people or ourselves. So the workout today really looked at how can you, when you're noticing you're judging, not to pretend that the judgment isn't there, because that's almost worse, right? But instead recognizing, okay, I'm currently judging either myself or other people. How can I hit that pause button so I can think before taking that action?
And I just want to underscore that, Jill, that this isn't about toxic positivity. And this isn't about trying to pretend that you aren't annoyed by other people or that you don't judge. That would be maybe in the short term, you might be able to work, but it'd be like holding your breath. There's only so long that you'd be able to do that because it's part of our humanity to judge others and ourselves.
Yeah. And I love that you bring that up because so often it feels like I either need to judge people or I just need to pretend everything is fine. And as with everything that we so often look at in Thoughtfully Fit, there's always choices. And exploring what those choices are is key. And so this is the Thoughtfully Fit practice of flexibility as we stretch to accept people exactly as they are. And that's not pretending that the differences don't exist, but instead working and stretching to accept people just as they are. So let's take a look at the actual workout. So first you got to hit that pause button and recognize that you are judging somebody. It requires some self-awareness, right? Because wouldn't it be easier, Darcy, if we just said, well, I don't judge people. I don't do this. So it's like, no, right? Like if you're not aware of it, you can't do the rest of the steps.
And those are the people who aren't coming to the gym.
That's true. They're not watching this.
And we don't judge them. And yeah, there is a level of awareness and self-awareness that's required. Yeah.
So the pause always sets you up to think. So here's some quick questions here. The first one is, what's the issue? And yep, what we mean by that is judge even harder. Not in behavior, not out loud, but allow yourself to think about what's really the issue here. What is getting in the way? So you can get really clear on what you're judging here. I had a friend this weekend. He was judging up, down, and sideways, this guy who would not stop talking at work. Talk. Okay, so what really is the issue here? It's a matter of work ethic. My friend wanted to focus on work and he was judging the other one for his work ethic. That's the issue there. Once you have that clear idea of the issue, you can get into, okay, how is this impacting you? For my friend, it wasn't impacting him at all, other than being super annoyed. He had his work, his coworker had his other work. And so it wasn't impacting his work at all as soon as he put on his noise canceling headphones, right? And so recognizing, okay, how does this exactly impact you? And then the final question of that invites us to lean into a little bit more of the empathy and of the kindness of, what if this person's doing the best that they can? whether it's work ethic, competence, warmth, whatever it might be, recognizing that in this moment, on this day, what if they're doing the best that they can? And is there a way to lean into that empathy? After taking that some time to think, then that's the final part of the core is to act. And to specifically, anytime we're looking at a flexibility workout, we are looking at what can you control? Again, going back to my friend's example, he wasn't this guy's boss. I mean, they're not even in the same department. And so what can he control? He can control the work that he puts in. He can decide if he wants to have a conversation with the guy to ask him to stop talking. That's a choice that he has. But when it comes to that judgment, how can you focus on what you control and maybe put that judgment down with other people?
So what do you do then, Jill, if you find that you're judging yourself? That was a question that came up in the workout.
Yeah. So when you notice you're judging yourself, it's the exact same 3 questions. So the first one, what's the issue? Because it's really easy to judge ourselves, right? Along the lines of, I can't, it's just so annoying. You're not doing it good. You're not doing it well. You're not doing enough. Okay, get specific. Avoid that toxic positivity. If you want to give that judgy McJudgerson, any space, give him the microphone, give her the microphone and really let them go. Because oftentimes what happens, we do this with coaching clients all the time. Once they you get them past that first sentence, they don't have much more to say. So if you give them that time to really define the issue, let them go, see what's really there. And then figure out what the impact is. Is this judgment serving you or is it sabotaging you? If it's serving you, recognize what piece of this might be helpful. You have high standards. You're judging yourself because you're not hitting that high standard. Okay, what do you need to do to hit that standard? But if you're judging yourself against an impossible standard or a standard you're not ready for yet, that's just sabotaging you. And that's a chance to put that down. And then finally, are you doing the best that you can in this moment? And the best at this moment might be different than your best yesterday and your best tomorrow. And can you give yourself that grace to acknowledge you're doing your best? And if you're not doing your best, okay, fine. Then pick it up and decide if you can. But if you're doing your best in that moment, give yourself that grace. And one of the things that I thought was interesting in the workout today, Darcy, was this idea that we are so much kinder to other people and give grace to other people. But when it comes to judging ourselves, we don't let that go. And so that's part of the workout, and recognizing it's not, you just can't change on a dime. This is what we do in the Thoughtfully Fit Gym. We work this out because giving ourselves that grace, that kindness should be the easiest thing in the world. And when our brain is just, hardwired to bang that gavel on the things that we're doing or other people, it takes that practice to develop those new neural pathways, if you will, in order to practice something new.
And then that's what you have to do, is act from that place, choosing what you want to focus on. Yeah. So if you missed it, we also talked about the research on the 4 different types of judging. We also talked about what do you do when someone's judging you. If you want more, there's a couple options here. You can join us for an upcoming free workout. We do a couple every month. We would love to have you. And you can also join the gym and you can learn more about the research of what do you do when someone is judging you. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll put the link in the comments of where you can go to learn more. Thank you for taking the time to pause from your life to think about your judging, and hopefully you can act from this place with some new awareness. Take care.